This is my backyard. I'm clearing land so that I can start building my new garden boxes. But before I started that, I had to really think about the orientation, what's gonna be around my garden boxes, how much sun it's gonna get. All three of these things limited me to where I can actually build the garden beds for 3 reasons. The first being my backyard is surrounded in cypress trees, and the cypress trees cast a pretty large shadow, and because of that, it really limits where I can put the garden beds. The second reason is if it's not the cypress trees casting shadows, it's the uneven ground. And the third reason is that I need my garden bed to be south facing so that it can get sun all day. The sun rises in the east and goes westward. In the winter, the sun lowers in the sky, and those cypress trees cast a larger shadow. Thankfully, I don't have to deal with this problem because I did this all during winter time so that I can choose the optimal area. After I cleared out a patch of land, I brought out some weed liner and rolled it out. Then I measured it to ensure that it'll fit underneath all my garden boxes. Remember that longer is better because at the end of the day, you can always trim it after. I ended up having to pull the rocks back even further to ensure that the weed liner was long enough. My plan is to build 3 4 feet by 4 feet garden boxes and have them all in a row, meaning that it would be 4 feet by 12 feet. So the weed liner should be 12 feet long, but I'm gonna do a little extra just to play it safe. I cut the weed liner off the roll and then make sure that it's nice and straight. A weed barrier isn't always necessary, but there are 2 reasons why I decided to use it. One is because I'm gonna be planting berries and herbs. Now, some berries like raspberries and blackberries and herbs like rosemary, they all shoot off runners and grow in different areas. I don't want that to happen. And then of course 2, it's a weed barrier. It deters weeds and makes it easier to maintain the garden beds. I grab all the wood from my garden boxes and bring it over to where I'm building them. I start by setting up the frame of the garden boxes. Once I finish the frame, I grab the rest of the side panels and slid them all into place. I just got a couple kits from my local hardware store that were modular, meaning I can put them together however I wanted. And you'll see that I ended up getting a few of them and stacking them so I could have a higher garden bed, just because that's what I wanted. It wasn't technically necessary. Here you can see me putting in the posts for the second level. I finally got all the side panels in place and painted the whole exterior of it. I ended up using a 2-in-1 stain and sealer that wasn't food safe rated, and so sealed the interior of the garden beds with liquid Flex Seal. This stuff is not easy to work with, but it does its job well and it looks pretty good too. I attached top pieces to the corners. I painted them black to match the interior. Just need to do some touch-ups on the bottom with some Flex Seal, fill it up with soil, and it's ready for planting. I think that they turned out pretty good. If I had to do it all over again, I would paint them before I set it up because that was quite the pain. As you can see, I am having trouble getting all the way to the bottom without filling my paintbrush with a bunch of dirt. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any advice for a first-time gardener, please let me know in the comments. It would be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you all later.